Thanks for joining us. So today we're going to talk about how so many times we hear, I don't want to be one of those people, one of those people. And hey, we get it. We are so genuinely sorry. Somebody hurt you. Somebody misrepresented something. Someone treated you like a number and not honoring you as a person. Someone was just full of excitement and likely just didn't have the right skill set to know how to share something that they thought you would be interested in and perhaps you weren't. And so now you're thinking, well, that's definitely not what I want to do to other people, and I don't want to be one of those people. But there are some things we're going to encourage you to think about in this episode.
Well, and that was one of my objections. I was definitely one of those people that said, I don't want to be one of those people because of my experience with the bait and switch situation. And I think one of the challenges with this business is that the barrier to entry is so low. There is just this giant welcome mat. Anybody with a pulse and a social security number can join the business. It's easy to get in, it's easy to get out. And that's a challenge because it attracts all kinds of people. And normally with this kind of an opportunity, with the opportunity to have this kind of return on investment with such a low cost to get involved and such a huge opportunity to really earn a pretty significant income, most of those types of professions require a degree, or they require a lot of experience and a lot of training, and people go through a lot to become prepared for these types of professions. And with network marketing, that's not the case. People are in, and all of a sudden they all kind of have it's like this equal playing field, and it's hard from the outside to tell, who's who, and which person is the shyster versus which person is the professional. So we really have to be careful not to judge who is going to be a good fit for this business too. I think a lot of times we kind of go for the low-hanging fruit, if you will, and we have all these people that are on our chicken list, the people that are really already very successful that we're afraid to talk to. Or maybe we think, why would they ever want to do this business? And I love, Laura, that you're a perfect example. You were the president of a billion-dollar corporation, and you got into this business. So I think that's even interesting how that came about, because I'm sure you were on somebody's chicken list.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. And I'd worked in the industry, so I had seen so many people be able to achieve things with this business at all levels. Success is defined by the individual, not by a dollar amount, not by a lifestyle. And we cannot determine from looking at someone where they're lacking in success in how they feel. And that was me. I was successful. I had money. I had beautiful homes. I had, healthy children. I traveled anywhere that I wanted. I had a flourishing career at the peak of my career. But people that didn't know under the surface would not have known that emotionally I felt bankrupt. I had traded my family for my career. And I thought that that's what I was supposed to do. Go to school, get a good job, pay for things, get a good job, keep working. And I realized that I had bought into really a lie about having it all and doing it all. And those two things aren't possible. You might be able to have it all, but you alone cannot do it all. And you have to make choices for balance. And this business appealed to me because I recognized and I knew that creating an additional stream of income is always a good idea. If you look at the average millionaire in this country, and we are such a blessed country, we do have many, they have an average of 7 streams of income. They do not put all of their eggs in one basket. This is not the 1950s where you went to work for a company and you stayed at that one company for the rest of your life. So I was aware enough to say, you know what? I believe that I could do this, and it all comes down to being passionate about and being a raving fan and finding the right company and the right products and the right cause that you want to get behind. But for sure, I was the person that was least likely that people would have said, well, what does she need with an extra stream of income or a business like this? And I was the most searching. I had even looked at franchises. I was searching, trying to figure out what was I going to do and how was I going to transition from my corporate job into, working from home and being an entrepreneur.
Well, and you exemplify what happens when somebody that is a professional and does have the skills to be professional and to earn a significant income. When those meet, when those kind of people meet with this business, amazing things can happen because we bring into this who we are. And when we treat this business like a real business, that's exactly how I looked at it. I just felt like I had just gotten a new job and I brought the skills that I had done in previous jobs and I treated this business exactly the same way. And most people don't do that. Most people kind of do it on a part-time basis. They don't really even recognize fully what they have in their hands when they get started. So I think you and I both had the opportunity to respect this business before we got into it. You had seen it firsthand from the inside, look a very different perspective than most people have. And I think when professionals get into this business, they can be very, very successful with it. It's a great corporate exit strategy because it can be done while you're still working. A lot of people make a significant income, but they don't know how they're going to get off of that hamster wheel, if you will. Because when they stop working, they're going to stop earning that significant income. So this business is really unique in that it allows us the opportunity to work it alongside of what we're already doing and wait until we've built that income up to match what we were already making in the corporate world, and then decide, what we want to do. It's just a great plan B option as well.
That's exactly right. And it is a fantastic feeling when you can fire your boss and when you can say, hey, what I've been doing on the side is at a level now where I'm able to leave. And that may not be, again, success is so varied in how it's defined. That may not be your goal. Your goal may be to create an additional stream of income to pay off some debt or to send your kid to the school that you want to send your child to. And that's all okay, but it is true. What you get out of it is relative to what you put into it. And there is a statistic that in today's day and age, especially with the gig economy and with technology the way that it is and the flexibility that people have to work additional side hustles, that actually 45% of Americans, 45%, that's almost half, 1 out of every 2 Americans have a side gig that they are earning some type of income from. Now, on average, they're working 12 hours a week. And that's not always what we see in this business either. Most people, to your point, they decide they're going to do this business, but they don't really put much into it. If they put 1 hour a week into it, it would be amazing. And you'll get out of it what you put into it. If you treat the business like a business, it'll pay you like a business. If you treat it like a hobby, it'll cost you like a hobby does. So that statistic says that when Americans, 45% who have a side hustle, are spending 12 hours a week working it, on average, 73% of them, 73% are making $500 a week. So again, that is not a statistic related to network marketing, but it does include network marketing as well as all the other kind of things that you can do in this gig economy. And it's all about time management. Use the skills that you have to use to manage your household, to manage your calendar with your family, and block the time that is dedicated to what you're doing in this business. And when you block that time, do the work in the system that whoever you're associated with is teaching you, then you're going to get the results. but it has to be consistent. And you don't find the time, you make the time for a business to take place and to happen. But you'd be surprised if you cut out some TV, or you cut out maybe some of the other things, not the things that are good for you, like exercise, but you cut out some of the things that are time wasters for you, that you can find that time. You can find an extra few hours a week to be working on whatever that additional stream of income is for you.
Well, and this business is so different than what a lot of people in the corporate world are accustomed to. So you had mentioned before about a franchise. I think a lot of people who are business minded and have worked their whole lives, maybe if they look at owning their own business, they think about buying a franchise. And, you know, buying a franchise can mean mortgaging your home to pay for it. I mean, it's a significant investment. And if you bought a franchise, you would, and you had made that significant investment, you would invest the time and energy in trying to make it be successful. I think the challenge with network marketing is that basically it is a virtual franchise. It's a business in a box, just like a franchise is, but it has a much lower price tag. And because it has the lower price tag, a lot of people don't treat it as seriously as they would if they had mortgaged their house to get into it. So I think, you know, the challenge is for people that get into this business, what I love really about what we're doing is trying to raise the awareness of what network marketing is, so that it can be respected more and treated more appropriately when people get into it, rather than just kind of happening to fall into it, which is what normally happens. People, you know, get brought in by their friend and they come in the back door, they kind of are doing this thing, they don't really understand what it is. And so that's why a lot of people fail and a lot of people get in and get out. And so I think the more that we can raise the awareness of what this really is, so that more professionals see this as similar to a franchise opportunity, but with a much lower price tag, then they'll treat it differently. And when that happens, it just changes the results completely.
Yes, yes. In fact, the average cost to start one of these businesses is $82. So we do have an equal opportunity here. You know, I love it. I'm a college dropout, and I was able to be the president of a billion-dollar company a couple of times over. That is not normal, not usual, and it speaks to the sacrifices I made more than it speaks to anything else. But in today's day and age, you know, if you have not invested in higher education, things are your choices are very limited. But at the same time, if you have made that investment, you're probably paying off student loans or student debt, or maybe you're just not happy with where you are, or even if you are in love with your job and you would show up and do your work even if they didn't pay you. It's just not a wise decision for your family to not consider an additional stream of income. I mean, let's talk about savings accounts. You know, we don't have a problem in general, people don't, with putting money into a savings account to earn some interest on it. That's considered acceptable. And it's just a tiny, tiny bit of interest. I mean, to be an investor and to earn, you know, $500 or $1,000 a month as extra income off of what you have invested, you'd have to almost be working with $1 million to be able to turn that around, either in properties or in savings accounts or stocks and bonds. And most people don't have that kind of money. So this is an equal opportunity because it gives anyone, regardless of their background, their education, their social status, their race, anyone who has a raving fan about a product, that opportunity. The thing that I think most people don't get is the rhythm of the earnings. And what I mean by that is we are so conditioned that we show up and we work and we get paid. And then we show up and we work and we get paid. And then we show up and we work and we get paid. And because this is something that you are starting as your own and is based on your referrals and based on new skills that you're learning. I mean, remember, you went to school, elementary school and high school for like 12 years, and you came out with your reading and writing skills to be in the world. But you come into this, and within a week or two, you're thinking, oh, I'm going to give up because I'm not good at this. I don't know how to do this. And that is just not fair to put on this business. But the rhythm of this is a little bit different. The rhythm can be, you might work and get paid, and then you work and get paid, and then you work and get paid, and then you might get paid, and then you work. So the rhythm for this is different because it is sort of an investment option of being able to leverage a system and leverage your efforts. So it's just a different way of thinking about it than most people are familiar with.
Exactly. It's more entrepreneurial. And I think a lot of people, again, who are coming from the corporate world are not accustomed to working for themselves. They're accustomed to that trading time for money concept and way we've been taught. But I think, we're in the middle of the pandemic still now. And I think that has taught a lot of people the importance of not having all their eggs in one basket, having multiple streams of income. And this is an opportunity to do that that is very, very unique in that it can be a turnkey business for a very low startup cost. And I think, just kind of my closing thoughts really would be about the fact that this gives us the opportunity to control our own destiny. I think so many people have discovered that jobs can go away. I mean, in an instant, our lives can change if we just continue to plan on everything being the same way it's been. And I think it serves us all well to start looking for other options to earn additional income streams.
And just like what the whole purpose of this podcast is about, we encourage you to go do your research. Go do your research. One good place to start is there's a book by Robert Kiyosaki and Sharon Lechter that really talks about the cash flow quadrant and how it educates you. It educated me about how, you can be an employee or you could be a business owner. And a lot of times as a business owner, the business owns you, because if you're not there showing up and hiring people and training people all the time, then it doesn't run, without you. So it's hard to take a vacation from that. Or you can be self-employed, like a dentist or a chiropractor or some profession like that, which again, very similar. If you're not there, you're not making money. Or you can be an investor who has money to invest. And what we're talking about is you can find a system to leverage your efforts, to leverage your time and efforts. So do some research. Do some research about the cash flow quadrant. Do some research about the industry. Do some research about what products or services that you feel connected with, that you're looking for to help you and your family, that might be able to help someone else. And share this podcast. Share it with folks that might be on that same journey and might have found themselves caught in this situation with what we've got going on right now here with the pandemic of, not sure where their income's going to come from, or, just not having a backup plan that this can provide. And because it's low cost, that's also the good news. It's not going to be a heavy risk or investment for you. It will just take a little bit of your time.
Yeah, I agree. And the Rich, I don't know if you said Rich Dad Poor Dad series of books, I think they all talk about the cash flow quadrant. And I am so grateful that my daughter, discovered those right out of college. It makes me feel like I am surprised that we're not teaching those concepts in school. We all need to understand, we're being taught to go into this one category of being an employee or being self-employed, and both of those require us to show up to earn an income. So I'm so glad that you mentioned those, Laura, because I think they're a great resource for anybody that's listening to our podcast.
So thanks for joining us today. And we agree, we don't want you to be one of those people either. And the good news is you don't have to be.
Thank you.